Angela Rayner, who I really do not like,
Yeah.
basically. She has vowed to step down if she's found to have committed a criminal offence, which at first blush sounds okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's vowed to sit down. She's on doing the honourable thing.
Yeah.
Why is that actually a rather devious comment to make?
Yeah, so I say this to people all the time. Scrutinise the words politicians use, because there's usually a get out clause in almost everything they say. Words like maybe, could, should, would, my aim is to. None of those things are definites. So be careful when a politician uses things like that. She said this is all to do with her not paying tax on the sale of her former council house.
Yeah.
So she said if she's committed a criminal act, she will resign. Right. If you don't pay your tax on the house you've sold, capital gains tax, doesn't necessarily make it a criminal act. You may have not understood the law. You still may owe the money, but I didn't understand that. I thought this meant that. They're all mitigating circumstances. You'll still have to pay that tax, but it's not a criminal act. A criminal act in tax is when you actively, with intent, lie, manipulate so you don't have to pay tax. If she's not lied, but she's misunderstood the form or anything like that, then it's not a criminal act anymore. So she still may be found guilty of not paying tax, have to pay. I think we're looking at £2,000. It's not that much money, but that's not the point. So be careful of her saying that. Now, another reason why I want to talk about this as well is, first of all, she's not been found guilty of anything yet. So I don't want to be penalising and degrading people for something that hasn't been proven yet. But let us be honest. Most people, if they can, want to avoid paying tax. She wasn't an MP when she did this. This was a house in Stockport, a former council house that she bought, got married, moved in with her new husband to his house, and that house was either empty or we believe it was being rented out to a brother or something like that. She claims that house was always her main residency.
Yeah, principal private residence, PPR.
Yeah, and that's why when she sold it, she didn't have to pay tax on it. Her neighbours are saying, she didn't live here for years. You know, we didn't see her. There's videos of her online talking about, you know, buying new cushions for a house and this and that. And it was the other house she's living in, her husband's house.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's got some questions to answer here. If she's found guilty, she'll pay the tax back. But my main point on this is, A, we expect more from we should expect more from our politicians. Here is a politician who's constantly attacking everybody else for being rich, for not paying their taxes, for having dodgy deals, for this, for that. We all need to pay more tax. She wants us to pay more tax because she wants to spend it. She's a socialist. And when you look at all that, you go,
why are you
but
paying
you're not paying your fair share of tax if you're found guilty. She would, if she's found guilty and has to repay that tax and it's not a criminal offence, she should still resign, because as a socialist, all her policies around people paying tax.
Yeah.
And if she can't pay her tax, most socialists don't want to pay tax. I want your money to spend. I'm not spending my money on this. I want your money to spend. And that's always the mantra of a socialist. Hence why most socialists we know are usually millionaires. Gary Neville, Diane Abbott, Corbyn, all these, Gary Lineker, all these people who go on about socialist policies are all multi-millionaires.
Yeah, who are in a position to virtue signal about these things. Aren't there a few grubby stories around Angela Rayner? Wasn't there something about some AirPods she bought on the using her expenses?
So she has so every MP has expenses. It's something like up to £250,000 a year. And she bought several sets of very expensive Apple AirPods. When she could have bought, I'm making the figure up now, £250 each. When she could have bought something very similar on Amazon for 25 quid. Same with some iPads and stuff like that. She's entitled to buy what she wants to buy on her expenses.
But how are those expenses?
Pardon?
Well, how are those expenses at AirPods?
Because she'll say it's when I'm on a Zoom call, when I'm doing this, when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I need stuff like that.
Maybe.
It's up to the people. It's up to her constituents to work out if that is an issue for them or not. If it's an issue for them, like you're wasting all your expenses, then they shouldn't vote for her again. If they don't mind her having the best stuff to do her job, well, they should vote her in again. We need to get away from how we're nitpicking politicians all the time. It's not down to us as citizens, it's down to the voters in their areas.
Yeah.
Unless she's breaking laws.
But I think the point I'm making is there's a bit of a nasty smell around Angela Rayner about things like this tax thing, about the AirPods, about her general behaviours, which goes back to your point about morality and honesty, the expectation that our politicians have to be squeaky clean. And certainly, I would say in the 70s, 60s and 70s, if a politician had a hint of scandal, they would resign.
No one resigns. Have you noticed that? No one resigns anymore now. No one resigns.
We had the example in the last podcast where the guy who sent a picture of his penis,
William
Wagg, didn't resign.
Yeah.
He had the whip taken off him, I think. Is that right? Oh no, he resigned.
He resigned the whip.
Before.
He didn't resign being an MP.
Correct.
So he's still keeping his 92 grand a year.
Yeah.
I'm just not Conservative anymore now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep them.
Very convenient.
He should have said, this is disgraceful, I'm resigning, I'm stepping down as MP, or I'm stepping down as MP, I'm going to run again to see if the people still want me. That's an honourable thing to
Correct.
do.
Yeah.
And if the people vote him in again, well, the people have voted him in again.
Yeah, you mean he should almost call a by-election?
Yes, call a by-election.
Yeah.
See if now you found this about me, do you still want me?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That would be honourable.
You make a point here, and I'm guessing you're talking about Tameside now, that a Labour mayor is in charge of the police, or are you talking about Stockport?
Oh no, so it will be...
Is this part of the same story?
No.
Oh,
So this is what I want to follow on. So again, about honesty and integrity. So obviously I try to twist everything to Andy Burnham, don't I? I'm running the...
Right.
So Andy Burnham's in charge of the police.
Yes.
We need... Yeah. So
I thought it was part of the same story.
No. So the integrity part of it. So Andy Burnham was looking like he was in trouble because of the Rochdale grooming gang scandal. And also we had some people coming out saying they've been sexually assaulted by police officers. One woman claimed she was raped in a Salford police station and drugged, and all the footage, some of the footage has gone missing.
Yeah.
So now we don't know what happened in a 2-hour period, which is like, that's suspicious for a start. So if we're looking at honesty and integrity, so Andy Burnham wanted this investigating. So who did he appoint to investigate it? He appointed a Labour peer. Not a peer, not some, no, and she has got some good qualifications behind her for this sort of stuff.
Who was it?
I forgot her name now. But the fact she sits in the House of Lords as a Labour peer and he's a Labour mayor, why don't you come, buddy?
Yeah.
And investigate this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this report that he's delayed now and won't release it till after the election. That's quite convenient. I'm not saying she's been paid off. I'm not saying she's corrupt. I'm just saying honesty and integrity. Justice has to look like it's being done. And if you employ your buddies to investigate stuff, no one's going to believe what they come back with. That person should have been fully independent, not connected to the Labour Party. But no, our politicians don't do that. They get their mates to investigate themselves. Jeremy Corbyn, when he was Labour leader and he was accused of anti-Semitism, he got Shami Chakrabarti to investigate anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, and she came back with, yeah, there isn't any. A couple of months later, she's then made a Labour peer. It's like, we can't trust this report, can we?
No.
And I just want our politicians to get to a stage where we start believing them again.
Yeah.
A little bit more than we do now.
You're not cheering me up today with all this stuff at all. Not at all.
If you like that video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and comment. And if you like what I'm saying about running for Mayor of Greater Manchester, then stick around. Tell your family, tell your friends. It's the only way I'm going to have a chance of winning is a grassroots movement. So be part of that movement and hit that bell. Thanks.